How you doing? I'm Jeff with J&S Custom Woodworks. Welcome back to the channel. So a few days ago we did the top 5 tools that I recommend from Harbor Freight. And this video is going to be the top 5 tools that I do not recommend from Harbor Freight. Now, I can only go by the tools that I've purchased. I haven't purchased everything from Harbor Freight, so I don't know what the top 5 worst tools from Harbor Freight are, but this is the top 5 worst that I've purchased. So the first thing from Harbor Freight that I do not recommend, once again, in this video we're starting with the cheapest and going to the most expensive, is going to be sandpaper. So the Warrior sandpaper starts out at 97 cents for a combo pack. That's right, 97 cents. And it goes all the way up to $6.99 for the Hercules brand of the sandpaper. And it doesn't matter whether it's Warrior or Hercules, do not buy this sandpaper. I've used this sandpaper on one of these sanding blocks, mounts, whatever you want to call it. It's soft. It's got Velcro on the bottom of it. This sandpaper is not good at all. Of course, for 97 cents for a pack of sandpaper, I mean, that's a pretty good deal, but it's not worth it. When you go to try to sand anything with this sandpaper, it doesn't take long for there to be a hole in it. All the grit is gone. It's not working. You will have a bigger headache trying to use this sandpaper than you would if you would buy a top quality sandpaper. I use Gator sandpaper that you can buy at Lowe's. The sandpaper and the sanding disc for the 5-inch orbital sander, and it's good sandpaper. I do not recommend the sandpaper from Harbor Freight. The second thing on my list that I would not recommend from Harbor Freight is going to be this Windsor wood chisel set. Now, I do use these chisels. They will last a little bit, not very long. There's a lot of sharpening and cleaning on these chisels that I have to do. They are cheap. I'm not even really sure what the price on these were. So I just went and looked at my book over there. They're $12.99 for the set. It comes with 6 of them. It comes with a 1.5 inch, 1.25 inch, 1 inch, 3/4, 1/2 inch, and I think this one's a quarter inch. Yes, they're cheap. $12.99 for a set of chisels, but you get what you pay for. So this is something that I would not recommend to buy from Harbor Freight. Yes, they're cheap, but if you're using chisels, buy a good set. Invest in a good set of chisels. These have to be sharpened after every use, it seems like. They do not do good. They're cheap. They're $12.99 from Harbor Freight, so they're not going to be very good. So my advice would be stay away from the Windsor wood chisel set. Number 3 on my list is going to be this Windsor number 33 bench plane. The first time I used it, the handle actually loosened up and I had to tighten it back up, and I checked it before I started using it to make sure everything was tight and good to go. Made sure the blade was adjusted to where it's straight and adjusted perfectly. After that first time use, all this stuff was loose. Every bit of it was loose. The blade was dull. It's just cheap. If you're doing hand tool woodworking, make sure that you buy a good hand plane. Don't go with this. Don't go with this Harbor Freight. I've actually got some planes ordered right now, some pretty good ones. Don't go with this one. This is not, this handle right here is loose right now. There's not much I can say good about this plane. There's nothing I can say good about this plane. Stay away from it. It's $14.99 at Harbor Freight right now. It's just not, like I said, again, cheap, but you get what you pay for. You know, all tools from Harbor Freight are cheap, but there's just some, like in my top 5 that I recommend, that are cheap, but they've done me well. And this is not one of them. The Windsor number 33 bench plane is not one of them. So my next victim on this list is going to be these Pittsburgh aluminum bar clamps. Now, these clamps are cheap. I think they range from $12.99 for the 24-inch to $19.99 for the 60-inch. Right now is what they are at Harbor Freight. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a lot of twist in this bar whenever you tighten these clamps up. If you get any kind of dirt, debris up in the jaw here, this dude don't even want to screw tight. You got to turn it until it tightens up, and then you got to kind of push on the jaw here, turn it some more until it locks up, and then push it again. They're just not built very well. And I've actually seen a few makers on YouTube take these bars, and let me get it down and show you again, and they will cut a piece of wood that fits inside of this tube right here to prevent the racking. I haven't done that yet. I'm planning on doing it. I just haven't had time to make these clamps better. Now this is the only clamps I have. I do have clamps on order. I did order some Bora 50-inch parallel clamps, and I'm going to try them out. And I'll probably do a review on those too whenever they get here. Should be here in a couple days. The last video I did on the top 5 tools that I recommended these Pittsburgh 18-inch clamps. You know, the quick clamps, whatever you want to call them. And I like these clamps. They're actually they're pretty good. But I do not recommend the Pittsburgh bar style clamp. Just no. Like I said, it's ranges from, you know, from $12.99 to, for the 24-inch, to $19.99 for the 60-inch. The 60-inch bar clamps are a little bit better than the smaller ones. I have the 36s, the 48s, and the 60s. The 60s are a little bit better. They've got this different kind of jaw on them, almost like a parallel clamp. But look how loose that is. And it's just, I don't recommend these clamps from Harbor Freight. They're good for beginner woodworkers who are starting out, who don't have a very big budget. But for the seasoned woodworker and me personally, I wish I would have started out with better clamps than these when I first started. But hey, it is what it is. You do what you got to do. But I do not recommend these Pittsburgh bar clamps from Harbor Freight. If you want to do the upgrade on them to where you put the wood inside of the bar here and try that, I don't know. I can't say if that works or not because I haven't done it yet. I've been intending to do it, but I haven't done it yet. But maybe we'll do a video on that here in a couple days. My 5th and final tool that I do not recommend from Harbor Freight is going to be this Banks 23 gauge pin nailer. Now, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong here or what it is, but I cannot get this tool to work correctly for me. I've still got it hanging on the wall here like I'm going to use it, but I don't use it. I avoid using it because it's just, no matter what adjustments I make on the nailer or my air compressor, I cannot get this dude to drive the pin nails all the way into the product, into the stock. And I don't know what it is. I'll oil it, you know, like I'm supposed to. I adjust it to whatever length, you know, pin nail I'm using, whatever stock I'm using, and I just cannot get it to perform correctly. Matter of fact, I can't even get it to swing all the way around to the lowest setting. It's just stuck. It's hard. I do not recommend this. It's cheap. It's $24.99. It shoots 23 gauge pin nails. But that is going to be my 5th thing from Harbor Freight that I've purchased so far that I do not like. I do not recommend. Stay away from the Banks 23 gauge pin nailer. Hey, if you like this content and you like watching our videos, then please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell icon. That way you're notified anytime we release new content. And once again, I'm Jeff with J&S Custom Woodworks. We'll see you next time. Keep making sawdust and stay safe.